I hope you don't worry about tomorrow. I'll be in your corner at times when you might forget your lines. If you're searching for a cue, I will root for you. It don't matter what you do. I approve of you.
I think I messed up. Wait, I'm sure I did. Welcome to Young Elder TV, where UFOs, religions, Anunnaki, and black youth collide in a cosmic comedy. Meet Marcus, our fearless leader. He's an aspiring scientist and part-time alien enthusiast. Then there's Maya, his sister, a no-nonsense lawyer who secretly believes in ancient astronauts. Oh, and don't forget Grandma Pearl. She swears she had tea with an alien once. And finally, their quirky neighbour, Mr. Thompson, convinced he's a reincarnated god. With 3 million fans already hooked, Young Elder TV blends laughs with galactic mysteries. Ready to join the fun? Hit that subscribe button and dive into the cosmic chaos. Young Elder TV, where the stars align for comedy.
Y'all Elder gang, we back at you with another banger. As you can see, took a month off. We've been putting out those AI tapes, and we got a couple. We wrote that book. We just put that book out. Well, it's a book. It's going to be a series of books about a billionaire called Ted Strokes. Now, Ted Strokes is a made-up character by the Young Elder. The whole storyline is made up. A lot of the stuff that I added to the storyline is like some of it is actual stuff that happened. Like the dude that like I took different storylines and put them into one story. The one thing that happened was the dude that was playing the mason jars with the money in it, the old man, that actually happened. And another old man, I think it was in Monroe, Louisiana, he was storing up batteries that had silver in it. And then another old man was saving up the change. So we took all that and put it to one construct and created a whole paradigm for this dude Ted Strokes. But now you got to keep in mind, Young Elder got a way of doing things to where Ted Strokes he gonna be dropping like little stuff in there, like little from the Long Elders of Zion, from the stuff that the Billionaires Boys Club, from the stuff from the different secret societies that he's a member of, the mafia and all that, right? So it's an interesting storyline that we're building. We also got the Riz Tech tape coming out. We saw a shout out to brother Return of the Nine Ether. Well, we saw his AI animated Riz Tech tape, and I think he just did a short. But I think my Riz Tech tape is about almost 50 minutes long. So it goes like a whole book about just the riskiest. So that's gonna probably come out on Friday. But this tape right here is called Searching for a Q. And the reason why we're doing this tape is because man, we want to put everybody up on game on about the Qs and what it's all about. Now, if you hadn't checked out, like I said, the Ted the Billionaire Monopoly tape, and he doing the stock markets and everything, we're gonna make him do the stock market picks and all that for you guys that still want to be on that. Now, for you guys that say to hell with all that, the system is down, it's over, it's finished. Okay, we got stuff for you too, right? We got stuff for everybody. We got moves for everything, right? But searching for a Q. Now, this right here gonna help you out in the coming for you people that don't know what's going on, y'all. Rob Bot. This is gonna help a lot of people out, and it might even save your life in some cases when you're searching for this Q. Now, incident took place on Saturday after my cousin's funeral. We went to my cousin's funeral, RIP to my cousin D Red, the God, right? DJ D Red. Yeah, they put him away nice. We got footage of that too. We might do like a little documentary on that. And we know what happened to my cousin. We know it was the police, which I did, and it's all good. We ain't gonna talk about that, but we know what's going on. We ain't stupid. We ain't slow, right? We know what y'all up to over there. in that city. Uh, yeah, but the reason why I'm doing this tape about searching for a Q is because, like I say, we had the repassing at my aunt's house, at his mother's house, and then everybody out there drinking, right? That's why I don't like hang around Negroes when they start to drink, right? So they start drinking, and then all of a sudden, my cousin, which is D Red's brother, who's the police, get into it with my sister, my little sister. I mean, it was almost over. She walking out. My cousin say something to her, and she say something back, and then all of a sudden they about to get into a fight. Well, that was my cue right there. See, if you're searching for a cue, it's always a cue to get out of a situation, right? So that was my when they started doing all that, they Negroes drinking and everything, they started getting all commotional. I got in my truck and got the heck on, right? So that's my cue. I had a homegirl. I had a homegirl. They ended up getting took out because she didn't see the cue. See, every time something take place for you guys who with us, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get a cue to get out of there on a job. When they your job start tripping, you gonna get that cue to say, oh, I need to start looking for me another job because these niggas tripping up here on this job, right? So there's always gonna be a way out. That cue is the loophole, the way out. In every system, in every format, there has to be a cue, right? Because cue represents timing. That's another thing. One of the seven laws of the universe that Tahuti talk about is rhythm and timing. You know, you ever hear people say, "Oh yeah, well it was bad timing." You know, he tried to start that business, but he started it on bad timing. Why? Because he missed the cue. It's always a time for everything. They say that in the text for you Bible guys. They say it's a time for everything. I think that's in Ecclesiastics. No, not that might be Ecclesiastics, or it's in the Old Testament where it talks about there's a time for everything. And they really got that from Tahuti, because Tahuti talk about in the seven laws of the universe of creation about the timing. And the timing is to be on cue. Now, in order to be on cue, you got to pay attention to detail. When you at the club or when you start to see things starting to they really tripping. See, they messing with my feed. Yeah, you got to stay ready. So if you at the club or wherever you at because a lot of people they talk about that too. They teach us about the mass shootings and things. And when say you at a Walmart and the guy coming there shooting, you got or you see a guy walking in there with a mask on or some crate like out the blue. You know what I'm saying? That's out of the norm. You got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? You see a guy, okay, he coming up in here, he got a mask on, a full ski mask, he got a bag. Oh, something about to go down. That's my cue. Let me go and get on. Right? Negroes usually have a good sense and another thing that goes along with this is intuition and discernment. These are key words that go along with the cue. Have I been feeling weird? I'm gonna tell you what I've been feeling though. I've been feeling getting a lot of deja vu's, like a lot of like going before the time. Like I'm seeing even my cousin getting took. My cousin dying. It's like I already seen it before or a long time ago. Like I seen it a long time ago, and and I know exactly what happened to him. I played it out of my mind based in the dream that I had a long time ago. So I know what, yeah, it's gut feeling, all that, right? You get that gut feeling, you get that, you can feel the energy change when something about to happen. Now it's a movie called Odd Thomas. Go watch a movie called Odd Thomas. And Odd Thomas is a being that can see these demonic energies, right? These demonic beings that come from the underworld. And every time something bad about to happen, all these beings come out and start to get these demons and start to gather around. right? And you can feel the energy change in the room. It start to get the temperature drop. It get colder because you got to keep in mind it's a lot of things playing a part, and we're gonna get into the rainbow effect. Because I teach about in order for somebody to pull a trigger on a gun, it's got to be at least below a certain frequency in the room. Certain frequencies won't allow you to pull the trigger on a gun because, and I know this to be true because the Greys had got some type of device that when they come in the room, the Najarus got this too, and a couple other races. It's a device that they got that won't allow projectile weapons to fire, right? Because it turns the frequency up so high that it won't ignite this gunpowder for the projectile type weapons. So when somebody's going out to when somebody gonna pull a gun or do something evil, they got to be in a red frequency. Now, if you study the alkaline chart, you'll see that the red is acidic. Then you go up to the green, that's the neutral. We call it that the straight and narrow. You got to go to walk the straight and narrow. And then higher, you go into the blue and purple, you get into the alkalinity, right? Now, most of these guys that go out and do all this evil or these mass shootings and things of that nature, most of them have to be in an acidic state. You can't be in an alkalinic state, and you don't know. You don't see. Have you ever met aggressive vegan? Vegans are not really aggressive. People that stay alkaline, they mostly calm and gentle people. Yeah, they say they start seeing red, right? 9X. They say they start seeing red. Now, the reason because of that is because they became acidic. Most of these people they drank liquor. Liquor is -3 on the alkaline chart. It's gonna take your protective field. Because I talk about this on the tape I just put out called the activating your 9 chakras. All this tying together, plus the Ascension Manual classes that we got in the Ascension Manual playlist. You want to go check those classes out too. uh what you eat can lower your magnetic force field. You got a magnetic force field around you, right? And it's some of y'all can be red, green. You got different what you call halos or arc eggs, and y'all can be different colors. Some of y'all can be all the colors, the rainbow. When you emitting all 7 colors, then your protective field is completely up. But what they have did is to introduce certain foods to us, like hamburgers, fries, soda, and these things of that nature, which are mostly acidics, to lower that magnetic force field. Now, in order for you to get sick and things of that nature, bacteria and things to get on you, that force field protects you. That magnetic force field around you, or that arc egg, protects you from these beings, these negative entities, these bacterias, viruses, all that. This arc egg protects you. Now, that arc egg can be the frequency or the magnetic force field, because your body is a ship, and all this ties into the Q. We're gonna tie it all in together, but we building up to it. Your body is a ship, and so your body has its own built-in magnetic force field to protect you from debris and bacteria and other things that might harm your ship. And so, in order to keep that magnetic force field up, you got to be mentally stable and healthy to keep the health plays a part in that the stability of that arc egg. So when you eat acidic foods, you lower that you weaken that magnetic force field. Thus, people end up getting sick. Now, when you start the alkaline and you strengthen and mentally come together and strengthen that magnetic force field, you become stronger. Now, some dude, I know a dude, actually my cousin, he went out to a chicken place and got some chicken and soda and went and ate that. And then he went and shot a guy's mother's house up right after. In order to do that, he had to be in an acidic state. And I'm pretty sure that chicken and that he drank some liquor too. 2 3 shots of that gin that he drank, and some of that red soda from that from that red soda from the chicken place, and he went out and shot somebody's house up, went out and got arrested the next day. And so people are doing this in order, and so in order for somebody to pull a trigger in the room, they got to have that red frequency. So when you see a guy, you in a place in a shopping mall or whatever, and you see a guy come in and he out of the ordinary, he got a whole mask on, and niggas ain't, it's hot, it's in the summertime, then they got a trench coat on and a bag and a mask. That's your cue. Ain't no sense of sticking around, looking around. I see people, it's people that be looking around like, oh, what is he up to? It's got some people that knows they want to, some guys will follow the guy. Let me see what this guy up to. And then all of a sudden, then he pulling the AK out your bag, doing a mass shooting. Then you're behind right there getting took out because you didn't see the cue. You didn't know hey, let's get the when next time. Negroes usually good on catching the cue. Like the saying goes, when you see one dude running, just take off running. You know what I'm saying? Then when y'all get through running and where y'all running to, then you ask that cat, hey man, why you took off running? Right? Or you might figure out why he took off running while you running. But you know what I'm saying? Search when you got that cue, search for that cue and get the heck up out of there. Same thing goes with relationships. In relationships, you might have a cue to get up out of there. Some people stick around. What's going on, Shamika? Shamika Jackson. If you from Mississippi or Louisiana, you a Chata. Chata, and you part of the Raw family. The Williams, you part of the Jackson and Williams is the same. They're Far people, the Watusis. Yeah. So in relationships, you might somebody cheating or somebody doing something that, hey man, this ain't what I'm part of my deal. You know what I'm saying? That's your cue. Don't stick around and when you got a cue to get out of there, you stick around, then boom, you suffer the consequences. You got to get the heck up out of there. Everything is timing. One dude said that the dude Young, man, I don't like the dude Young Elder because he's tying everything in together. He's putting everything on time. And then he goes up to say, who does that? Sound like to me, he mad at Tahuti. Sound like to me, he mad at Tahuti. He sound like them same brothers that Tahuti said in the Emerald Tablets. Tahuti said that it was gonna be some guys that were gonna come. They would call it Brothers of Darkness, and they really were Draconian reptilians in human bodies. And they were gonna come, and when they come, he said you gotta pay attention, stay away from these guys and watch these guys, right? So he sounded like one of them dudes when he said, "Who does that?" Like he mad at Tahuti. You know what I'm saying? Who does that? Right? Along elders out here putting everything together, right? These guys are crazy, man. I don't know what they're getting at, but keep in mind, like I said, on the job, anywhere, if you one of us and it's a situation that's gonna kind of turn out to be bad, you always gonna have a cue. Look for that cue. When you gonna feel it, some of y'all can feel it. Some of y'all got y'all senses high, and y'all can feel the energy change. Like sometimes I used to go to a place, and then as soon as I walk up in there, man, I say, man, something ain't right up in here. Something just the energy off. It's weird. I don't like the way it feel. And then sometime before I knew what was happening, I used to stay there longer than I was supposed to stay there. And I still end up getting up out of there, but I could have got up out of there faster if I would have seen the cue. Right? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? First. What's going on, first? What's going on, Mike George? Yeah, but I would have got up out of there faster. Like I just seen like people, like I go into a place, two guys arguing, right? A guy lift up his shirt and show a gun. That was my cue. Well, I'm sticking around like, damn, what the hell gonna go down? Then the guy pulled out the gun and started shooting. You know what I'm saying? But I could have got the hell up out of there with us. And they were arguing about 10, 15 more minutes after that he showed the gun. When somebody show a gun and they arguing with each other, that's your cue right there. Like, man, it's not when the guy got that gun, so they don't tell it, then they drinking. That's your cue to get the heck up out of there. Like I say, on your job, your boss harassing you. They study writing you up, trying to look for stuff to write you up. That's when it's your cue. So looking for you another gig, man, because these guys finna, you don't want to be stuck out and left out hanging. You always gotta have what you call an ace in the hole backup plan or plan B in this game. I'm telling you, Grand Rising, y'all ride by, ride by. We finna get it back rolling, man. Like I say, we've been writing these books. We got a lot of tape. We got the Riz Tech tape. I mean, the Riz Skin tape. We got the Riz Tech tape already out. We got the Riz Skin actual extraterrestrial tape coming out this week. I'm pretty much done writing it. I just got to put it into the AI and let them create something from it. But from now on out, y'all, when you're in a situation and the energy change, automatically search for that cue to get the heck up out of there. That window is another word they call it. That window, right? It's always going to be a window for you to get out. Even in the court system, it's always a window. It's always a cue, right? And if you miss that cue, right, then you miss the timing. And like I say, people will start different things and they don't do it on the right cue. It's not on beat. I remember Doc used to say, because people be asking, how do we know if they with us or not? Because they know they put the song out, they not like us. And Raw Hayes actually started it, right? Raw Hayes was the one that started the they not like us. They look like us, but they not like us. We put that out like 2-3 years ago. Me and Raw, right? But like Doc said, when you want to find out if they with us or not, all you gotta do is cut the music on. And when you cut the music on, if they off beat, then they not with us. Because in them avatars, they can't, they like robots. They can't be on beat. They gotta do robot and electric, they gotta do all these robotic dances, right? So if you cut the music on and then they off beat, they not with us. If they on beat, it don't matter what the color of their skin is. If they on the beat, because you got some people that think they white, and it's no such thing. You know what I'm saying? Really, as far as human race, that's really a status and quote. You know, status quote in labels, right? Black and white. It's the checkerboard. It's the yin and yang. It's the Masonic flow, right? Good and bad, dark and light, evil, good and evil. That thing. But like I say, hey, Rob out to everybody that's in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get those 8 books by the young elder, like I say, we let them go for $40. Like I say, I should have the other books out by next week. The other set of books out by next week. But always know your cue, right? Don't get caught and miss that cue, miss that timing. And that's with anything. This with starting a business, which are investing or saving. It's always a cue. Or getting out of relationships, getting a new job, right? When you see it, because stuff started to change. Like I remember one time I was on a job and they came in there and they said, yeah, look, man, because I've been having Sunday and Monday off for like 5 years on this job. 5 years. Sunday and Monday was my days, right? And because I like Sunday, and then I had Saturday where I got off at 4 o'clock. So I go in at 7 on Saturday, get off at 4 on going to 7 to get off at 4 on Saturday. Then I'm off for the rest of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I had it like that 5 years straight. And I set it up. I finagled it like that because of how I took the undercut, meaning that I volunteered to close every day through the week, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday, I get that day where I come in early, and then I'm off, for the rest of the weekend. So I had it set up like that. They come in and tell me that the AI has took over Walmart systems, and now that you got to change your schedule around to available anytime. And I told them I wasn't gonna do it. They said, well, AI gonna take your hours away, and they gonna do this. I say, how is AI running this place? Is AI running this place, or AI tell everybody what to do now? And this right here was a couple of years ago, man. You know what I'm saying? Where they was saying that AI was running the place. But that was my cue right there to get the heck up out of there. Because right after that, when I refused, they started trying to find things to write me up for. The trans slavery trade. All right, so yeah, okay. Shout out the boy Hawkins. Yeah, so there's this the slave trade really was started by the Moors, the dirty Moors, right? So the dirty Moors at first it started with them going. This right here was like 900 BC. We can go back to about 15 when we can go back to 15 when the Moors chased the Hyksos out of ancient Kemet, and they chased it. They rounded them up, and they cable told them, and they blindfolded them, and they took them back to Caucasus Mountains in Georgia. Right? They stayed there for about 1,000 years. It's a scripture about the devil being bounded for 1,000 years. Well, they were bounded up in these mountains for 1,000 years until some of the Moors said, you know what, we can make these people slaves, and we can fix them up, and we can put a board in their back, and we can teach them about salt, teach them etiquette. Etiquette was what we are. Etiquette wasn't for us. It was for to teach these people who were caveman on how to use a fork and a spoon and a knife. Right. So the Moors taught them all this, and then they saw the women. They say, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kidnap these women, and we're gonna bring them back, and we're gonna shave them, clean them up, and put them on a dress, and just make them like a worker. So they did that. Then the Moors start getting a whole bunch of these women, and then they put them in what they call a harlem, which is another word for brothel, a brothel, trying to keep it clean. Uh, and so the Moors were the first pimps and players. If you go look at how the pimps dress with their zoot suits and the hats and the jewelry and all that, that's how the Moors dressed back in the day. That's how, like, they call themselves Macs. The word Mac come from the Moors. MacDonald, MacArthur, these are the Irish Moors. Mac this, Mac that, right? So the Mac or the macaroni Tonys, right? The Mac, all these Macs and pimps and players, this come back from the Moors. I'm getting up to what you're saying for the slant. I'm tying this into the trade, right? All right, so speeding up, the boys made them slaves first, and then they started kidnapping the men, started enslaving them, and then they started training the men. They started training these men how to fight to make them pretty much mercenaries. The Moors made, and this became known as the Vikings. The Moors created the Vikings as mercenaries to go around and sabotage all the people that they owed them money or whatever that they didn't like. They would sick their dogs on them, pretty much. The mercenaries were the dogs, the Vikings, right? The first Vikings were Moors, Hannibal and them, right? From Carthage, all right, North Africa, right, which would really be South Africa. All right, I'm speeding up to the slave trade. So that went on. The first slave trade really was convicts who were white servitude who were being taken around the world by the Moors. The first place they took them was Australia and South Africa. That's how most of those people that's like of Caucasian descent end up, and they technically, you got to be Caucasian, you got to have blonde and blue eyes. But the people that's up in South Africa, they got took there by the Moors. The people like Crocodile Dundee that end up in Australia, they got took there by the Moors. The people that came to America during the 13 colonies in 1717, when King George the First was king over England, Great Britain, which means Great Covenant, which is the British Empire, which is really the Moors, the redcoats of the Moors, right? King George the Third, all his whole family back from then, and his sons and daughters were all Moors, not what they paint out to be in the Western Hemisphere. They got real pictures of King George in the Library of Congress, and he's a Nubian, right? All right. Yeah, we're gonna get to the Jacobites, right? The Jacobites, right? Jacobites were the Hyksos, right? So I'm speeding up to where I'm trying to make it cram it in. Uh, that was the first people that was being taken around the world as slaves, the Caucasians. But then some of the Moors were well, not necessarily kidnapping. Some of the people in Africa became prisoners or in servitude, or because like I say, when you owed to somebody some money, then you had to work that off. You become in servitude. It really wasn't slavery, because Moors can never be slaves. Slaves mean Slavics, and Slavics are from Russia, right? Slavics are from Russia. We'll get into that a little bit later, but they were these Africans were being taken as servitude, and the Moors were pretty much taking them and demanded, because they were the Moors were starting the Moors were the first mob. Like the Italians and all them, they are descendants of the Moors. The Sicily, Corsican, the Corsicans are Moors. So all these Italians and these mafia guys, these gangsters, are descendants of the Moors. They are mulattoes children, really. The Moors children, mulattoes. And so these Moors were the first mob, and they were going around extorting people. So they would go and extort groups of Africans, and when the Africans couldn't pay them, they would have to get some women or children over as slaves. The Moors would take these people and bring them over here. So that's really the slant, the trade. It was these Moors extorting tribes, and then some other African tribes selling their own people to these Moors. And the Moors brought people over here. You got to keep in mind, uh, the first person to come over here, and he was that was so-called Caucasian, and he was really a mulatto, was, they say, Christopher Columbus. This is in 1492, and the only reason he was able to come over here is because they sacked Granada in 1492 under Queen Isabella, right? And Queen Isabella got the seal to be able to stamp the paperwork to sell over to the Western Hemisphere. At first they couldn't sell over here because they were getting jacked by pirates like Jack Sparrow, who was really a Nubian from the Caribbean islands. Jack Sparrow, the movie about the Pirate of the Caribbean, most of those brothers, they even show you some of them brothers in the Pirates of the Caribbean with fezes on. Go back and watch the Pirates of the Caribbean again, and then pay a close attention. You're gonna see black brothers in the movie with fezes on. uh, um, Jack Sparrow was a real character that was a Moor, that was a pirate that would raid these Caucasian ship when they tried to sell over here. And then they couldn't sell over here until they got that paperwork in 1492. So, and it wasn't even no Caucasians over here until the 1700s. The pilgrims that came over here, the Plymouth Rock and all that, they were dark-skinned Moors called the Etruscans. Or these another name for them is the conquistadors, the black conquistadors. Go get a book called The Black Conquistadors. You're the Jacobites. Uh and this all this can tie into the Q, because we should have got our Q when they came over here talking about yeah, hey, get your pie in the sky, and yeah, man, turn over your gold and we'll give you Jesus. Give us some gold and we'll tell you about this guy named Jesus. We never heard of it. We heard of Haru. We never heard of Jesus until these guys came. These conquistadors, these Romans who are really dark. The Romans are really the Moors, those who roam the land. You know, Rome, man. And as they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Right? And in Rome, do as the Romans do. But to sum it up, the slave trade was really the Moors. They the ones that were doing all the trade. I'm telling you, man. The dirty Moors. The Morons. The Hades is okay. So some of them beings were brought there, and some of them was already there. If you ever go there, you'll see that whole island is split. One side is you see dark skinned beings, and you see another group that's light skinned, like the Dominicans. You see the Dominican, then you see I actually been to Hades and Dominican Republic. Uh, when you get over there, you'll see that the one group looked like Nigerians, right? And then another group looked like a lighter skinned. That's because of the Spaniards coming in to mix in with them. And the French came in and tried to mix in with them. French got ran off. The French didn't get their cue, right? Because they talking about, oh, they did some voodoo on us when we came on the land in Hades. They did voodoo on us, right? Now you got to keep in mind these people. These are people that almost thought the world was flat. These are guys coming out of thinking the world was flat. So they thinking that when I say voodoo or some magic, you thinking about some abracadabra. It really ain't no abracadabra. Let me tell you. Let me explain to what happened to these guys and why they said these Haitian guys did voodoo on us. Yeah, Sicily, the Moors, all that, right? So the real Italians, the Moors, they were the ones that were going and extorting people. They were the ones that started the hitman thing because they was going to capture these Caucasians at the mountains, fixing them up, putting like armor on them and giving them a sword, teaching them how to fight, and then they would send them to go out as mercenaries to extort people. All right, yeah. So that's one part of it. The Great 5-9. One part of it is that it's technology. But I'm gonna tell you what happened to the French and Hades. What made them say, "Oh, they did voodoo on us. They did magic. They brought the devil out. Right? They did some devilishment on us. Right? So when they came on the land, some tribes on the land knew alchemy. We call it alchemy, right? This means that they knew about a certain type of bullfrog, a bullfrog that has poison in his spots. So what they would do is capture the bullfrog and drain the poison from them, or they would capture a certain type of snake that's poisonous that'll kill you in 10, 20 minutes, right? They'd capture that snake, drain the venom from it. Then they knew about certain plants like shrooms and things of that nature. And so they would get that and make a potion from it and then put it on the front of their darts and their arrows. Right. And this potion that they made from this stuff would make you hallucinate and see things. Right. So when the French come on the land to attack these people, they start shooting them with these darts. Shooting one of them. Let's see. They like this right here. I got 3 different darts. Oh, this guy want to shoot with this hallucination dart. Let me shoot him with this. Right, they shoot the guy with the hallucination arrow. By 2 or 3 minutes later, after it get into his bloodstream, he starts seeing elephants and giraffes and shit come out the ground. He started to see zombies and everything, right, come out the ground. Right, so he hallucinating, but he thinking that they doing some kind of voodoo. And so they get scared and run and get back on the boat and get the hell out of there. Right. And so it really was that they understood certain pauses and things of that nature and hallucinating toxins to shoot these people with these darts, like, hit him with a dart and boom, he gone out. They still do some of this. Some tribes in Africa still practice this stuff. Now, under the Spanish Inquisition, they went and banned this stuff, saying, "Yo, you can't do that. You can't do this." In one case, we use dandelion. Dandelion is good for inflammation, good for your blood stream and the things of that nature, right? Now, if you go study the 72 demons of Solomon, they got, if you go, most of the names of the demons is herbs. I'm saying to myself, man, 72 demons, 72 herbs. Because one of the demons, go look it up. Go look up dandelion is one of the 72 demons. They got names of herbs as the demons. And I'm saying to myself, how did they come up with that? And I eventually put it together. What happens is when these herbs were herbs that can heal people, right? These 72 herbs. And so when the Roman Catholic Church under the Spanish Inquisition came out to start pointing the finger at these people and saying they witches and warlocks, the Salem Witch Project and all that, and say that, oh yeah, he practicing witchcraft because he using dandelion and he losing elderberry, or he using these different herbs, so he practicing witchcraft, and those are demons. Dandelion is a demon because it goes against what we're trying to promote, and we under the Spanish Inquisition, so let's burn them at the stake. So I'm thinking that what they label these 72 herbs as 72 demons, so that they can deter us from even going to deal with these herbs. Yeah, go look it up, man. Go look that up. I'm telling you, man, that's crazy, right? Yeah, dandelion is good for it's good for cleaning the blood and the cell. It's like it's one of the things that is it's a detox, right? For the blood stream and things. Blood. I like a mix that I do is dandelion, burdock root, cinnamon, cayenne pepper. You know what I'm saying? And I add it was with burdock root, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, dandelion. I think it was one more that I mix. I mix all of them together and make a like my elixir mixer. Says it's Halloween evil. Halloween, actually, I got a tape called "The Origin of Halloween." Right, the origin of Halloween. You might go check that tape out. Halloween is really dealing with uh. My mind just went blank because I don't want to get sidetracked on what I'm talking about. It says right, Beetlejuice sound like a to me. Yeah. Like so, yeah. Go look them up. Go look up some of these demons. And you'll see they are herb. You know what I'm saying? Hey, to the guy that asked about the Halloween, I got a tape. Go to my playlist called the Origin of Things, or the Origin playlist, and they got the origin of Halloween, the origin of Thanksgiving, the origin of all these different holidays. I think the only two holidays we missing is Easter and Christmas, and I'm gonna drop them this year. Hey, what about the Dogons? You said the Dogons. What about the Dogons? This is the term. Yeah, like I say, if you're just not coming in, we were talking about the Q, right? If you're searching for a Q, and shout out Phase One. Phase One got my favorite song. I pretty much know that whole song word for word. It's called The Q. We got it in the descriptions. You go check out that song by Phase One called The Q. A lot of that might be going over people's head, you know. Uh, but like I say, a Q is your sign. It's a sign that you gotta get out of a place or get out of something or get into something. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have a cue to say, hey, start a business, or hey, do this. Because it's called intuition or discernment. So that cue will give you it's like a sign. It's your sign to get in or get out, right? To go up, go on or go off, cut off, right? And like I say, my cue like the other day on Saturday was when they started when I saw they were drinking and they started arguing. I said, "Oh yeah, it's my cue. I got in my truck, got the heck on." One time I saw some dudes arguing, and I saw a dude lift up his shirt and show a gun. I said, "Oh yeah, that's my cue. That's my cue. He got that gun." So if it then come to find out, right after that, two people, the guys, both of the guys started shooting at each other, and they didn't even hit each other. They hit two other guys that were standing around looking, and they wanted to see what the guys was gonna get into. They probably saw the cue. The cue was when the guy sold his gun. That's the cue. You know what I'm saying? Get the hell. It's time to get the hell on. Hey, what up, Jalen Lewis? It's time to get the hell on, man. When you see something like that, or a guy walk in, it just you can tell, man. You can feel the energy, the room change. Like I say, go watch this movie called Odd Thomas. And when Odd Thomas, the energy, the like they explained that when some evil about to take place, the temperature drop because in order for these demons to come in, they don't like the heat. They like to walk in the cool of the day. These demons, so they like that temperature to be low temperature, right? And then they come in, and then they gather around to ready to eat this energy, this blood that's going to be poured out. They gather around to eat that energy. But what protects you is your auric egg, your Q. That's another Q. Your Q is the rainbow that protects you. And like I say, certain foods can lower this magnetic force field. And that energy field, that same energy field, that auric egg will give you the alertness and the detail, paying attention to details, what they used to say when I was in the military. You got to pay attention to detail. If you sitting there and you don't know what's going on, you can end up being a victim and you don't even got nothing to do with the situation just because you missed the cue. Right? So we know how to do it. To the Dogon traditionally originally similarly Halloween. Oh yeah, okay, all right. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was uh okay, the Dogons. I say that in the tape. Zay, hey Zay, Zay, I said that in the tape. Thanks for reminding me. The Dogons initiated Halloween. If you go look at the Dogon tradition, you'll see they wear all the masks. They wear the Halloween. They didn't call it Halloween, right? Halloween, right? But the Dogons wear these masks, and that's when they get wearing the masks for Halloween, right? And the Dogons really those masks they wear were extraterrestrial beings that came from Cyrus and other places that they came in contact with, and they made masks to emulate these beings, right? And the reason why they was doing it is because they was getting ready for harvest. When they would get ready for harvest, and what they used to do is they used to uh they labeled it as a pagan under the Spanish Inquisition it became known as a pagan holiday. And actually, the Roman Catholic Church actually, you know, kind of like finagled it a little bit into a holiday so that they can capitalize off of it. But yeah, but what it was for is they was getting ready. It's for the celebrate harvest celebration, the harvest celebration, and also during a certain time in ancient Kemet before they buried the Stargate. During this same time, they would send young virgins and children through the Stargate for these beings. They were like for Murdoch now. Murdoch now was taking beings to other planets and training them and giving them advanced technology. Yeah, so but like I said, I got more on there in that tape called the I got so many. I got 1800. We got 1,800 tapes out. So it's so much information we forget half of the shit. Uh, yeah. So I also got Zay. I also got the Origin of Thanksgiving. The Origin of Thanksgiving is a little different. Like I say, our Halloween is for harvest. They celebrate the harvesting. Where they finna really, pick the because what happens is that's another thing about Halloween. Before I talk about the Thanksgiving thing, and we on that green drink, y'all. We on our chlorophyll. We got the alkaline chlorophyll water. Matter of fact, let me get a swig of it. Yeah, but while I'm thinking about it, during that time in October, gotta get that chlorophyll. We part plant, y'all. During that time in October, they would have other rituals too as well. But the main, like I said, the main thing was for harvest. November, the November Thanksgiving thing is dealing with the black conquistadors and Pocahontas, who was Monteoka, who was a part of the five Parliament tribes, who was the princess. Her dad was the head chief of the court, the the five Parliament tribes back then. And so the conquistadors and all them, like John Smith and John Rolfe and them, is the ones that they were dark skinned Moors. They wasn't Caucasians like they show you in the movie. They were dark skinned Moors who came over, and like I say, they were Macs. And so they put the Mac John Rolfe on Pocahontas, Monteoka, to Mac her down. And she falls in love with him, has a kid named Thomas Rolfe. But the Thanksgiving was that these natives, when these conquistadors came over here, keep in mind, we didn't eat birds. We didn't eat birds before the conquistadors came. They came over here and started eating the birds. So when they landed, when they landed on our land, these conquistadors, these pilgrims, on the shore, they saw all these birds walking around, and they called them dodo birds, right? These dodo birds they was walking around, and then the dodo birds was they considered these conquistadors. They were hungry as hell because they've been on the sea for longer, and they said, "Damn, this a bird. We could probably eat this bird." And the dodo birds will walk right up to them. Why? Because as Native Americans, the birds, we had connection with the birds. So the birds will fly right up to us. A hawk will fly. We used to have eagles, personal eagles, and like they show you on Harry Potter. See, a lot of stuff they show you on Harry Potter, they labeled as under the Spanish Inquisition as witchcraft and warlock shit. Like sending messages with eagles. So the chief used to get an eagle, tie a message to his leg, and fly him off and fly him to send a message to another eagle, another chief. They showed you that in Harry Potter, where they laid that at as when we were sending messages on the land because they couldn't, intercept the message. They labeled that as witchcraft, since we delivering a message by bird, right? They delivered it as witchcraft. We can't stop that, and it was a part of warfare. They labeled it as a part of warfare, right? So we didn't eat birds, right? Birds were spiritual animals on both sides of the land, really, right? But they did eat ostrich. We hunted ostrich over there in ancient Kemet, but most birds we didn't eat because it was especially on this side, it was a spiritual science behind the birds because we understood the birds help the magnetic force field of the planet, and if you kill a bird, they can throw off the weather patterns. And then also the birds were we understood the language of the birds. When we knew when the birds did certain things, we knew when to move our camps, or move to another land to where the food was gonna be good or where the weather conditions were gonna be good, right? But these conquistadors, they land on the land, like I say, and they saw these dodo birds, and the dodo birds walk right up to them because we used to feed them, and they walk right up to us, right? And we used to throw chicken guts to these birds, and they used to eat them as natives. But so we didn't eat them because they really were scavenger birds. But when the conquistadors landed, right, they said, "Oh yeah, this look like a good bird," so they started cooking them up. They was easy to get, and eventually that bird got domesticated and uh, altered, and now it's the chicken. Now they call it the chicken. So you really eat dodo bird. The chicken is a descendant of the dodo bird. But these conquistadors were eating. They was eating them all up because they say, "Oh yeah, these jokers are easy to catch. They walk right up to you." So when they walk right up to them, they would shoot them or grab them and wring their neck and then pluck them and eat them. So they was eating all them dodo birds for so long that they was running out. The dodo birds almost came extinct because how they was walking up to them, right? Uh, and then so one winter came where they was living on the beach or living on the outskirts of our land, and they couldn't they was running out of food. They was running out of food, right? And they didn't know how to plant and grow food in sand. We as Native Americans, we knew how to grow food in sand. How you grow food in sand? What we used to do is when we used to eat a lot of fish. Our two meats of preference were buffalo and fish, and we never fried nothing. We didn't even have grease over here. We always baked and roasted or grilled. We mostly grilled barbecue. That's why a lot of you Nubians like barbecuing because you've been doing it for thousands of years over here over here in ancient Kemet. Yeah, I say over here in America, ancient Kemet, right? You've been barbecuing for thousands of years, right? Uh, and so that's why you like barbecuing now. But we also ate baked fish and baked like fresh caught fish. Because see, a lot of the stuff that's happening to us is because it's not what we think it is. Like most of y'all that think y'all smoking cigarettes, you're not smoking cigarettes no more. You smoking paper with 4,000 chemicals. You're not smoking real tobacco. See, because the Native Americans did get cancer from tobacco. Actually, tobacco is a cure for a lot of diseases, like Ebola. They made a cure for Ebola, or some kind of vaccine or something for Ebola using I think tobacco, if I'm not mistaken. So you're not that's why they're getting cancer because you're smoking 4,000 chemicals. You're not chewing real tobacco, or you're not got real tobacco like the Native Americans had. A lot of the stuff it's being tainted by the devil. If it's been made bad, when the devil touch something, he always make it bad. But keep in mind, we could touch something and make it good. You know what I'm saying? We could touch it and make it good. The devil touch it and make it bad. So yeah, but they couldn't survive. So we knew how to take sand. We knew how to grow food in sand. And how you grow food in sand? Because people are like, damn, how you grow food in sand? What we used to do is take the fish goods and then put it down under the ground to fertilize the ground with the fish goods. right? We also used to take the charcoal ash from us roasting our meat and take the ash and throw it into the sand with the fish goods, then plant the seed in there and it'll grow in the sand. We showed them how to do it because they didn't know how to do it. We showed them how to do it. And then we also gave them food supplies to survive a winter. That's what Thanksgiving was about. Now, after that, after they survived that winter, they said, okay, we got to thank these guys for helping us survive. We should have let them starve. We should have let them. Our cue was when they came over here and they didn't know how to survive. We should have let them. Mother Nature should have let. We should have let Mother Nature let them get took out. But us being kind and generous, we were so kind and generous over here. That's why we in the predicament we in. We nice guys over here. And say, oh yeah, these some nice guys. And keep in mind the word nice means stupid, really. Right? These are nice guys. So what we gonna do is for these guys, we're gonna give them some gifts. Because this is Thanksgiving. We're gonna give them some gifts. Now we're gonna do is we got little Johnny in here. Little Johnny got smallpox. So we're gonna scrape all this stuff off. Look, we're gonna let little Johnny sleep on all these rugs and all these quilts. So he gonna let them cough on them so he can get smallpox on them. And then we got syphilis and all these other diseases. We're gonna pile it all on there, and then we're gonna give it to these Native Americans as a gift. And then they're gonna get smallpox, and we can wipe them out, and take their stuff. That's what it's about. That's what Thanksgiving was about. It's a genocide. To sum it up. So when we celebrate Thanksgiving, but we also remember about the genocide of our people. And then we also remember, but Thanksgiving more for us now is a family gathering to just meet up and just talk about what went on through the year as a family. That's how we do it now. It ain't so much as far as driven towards what happened to us, how we got robbed and pretty much got played like some stupid suckers because they thought we was nice guys. Christmas is dealing with the winter solstice when the sun, who they had turned this into Jesus and the 12 disciples and all that, right? The sun goes on through the winter solstice on December 23rd, where it says it goes to its farthest away from the planet, right? And then it goes on the Southern Cross, which is a star system, and it goes on there and says, so the Son of God died on the cross. That's where they get all this from. And it's really going back to the Dietary calendar. The 12 disciples or the 12 zodiacs signs is like say with the sun being the 13th. And so Christmas is about the birth of the new birth of the death and resurrection of the Son, the S-U-N of God. The Ra is what they call it in the ancient Kemet, right? So it was dealing with that's Dogong information. Most of these holidays like Christmas, Halloween, and Easter is dealing with Dogong teachings. So Christmas is dealing with the winter solstice, like I say, when the Dogongs knew the sun was going back at its farthest point, and then it was going to be a birth of a new sun that was going to begin to come back towards the planet, which will make it back close to the planet during the Easter time, which is when the sun. They say the Son of God rise from the dead. He multiplies the bread because the wheat plants grow in spring. He multiplies the fish because the fish in the water mate during springtime. The rabbits mate during springtime is dealing with fertility, right? So, yeah, Osiris, right? Oh, we get to that. We can get into that too. Osir dealing with the Pope and all that. They took all that from Osiris, the God, the Father, and pretty much all that. He who had a face like an emerald, Osiris sat on the throne, and his face was green. They also can be referred to Osiris' brother, who was green as well, named Murdoch, his older brother, who was known as El Kaddish, the green one. Yep. So Christmas is dealing with the winter solstice and the motion of the sun, and also the Jewish guys. My Jewish guys, we celebrate Passover. And that's dealing with the 33-degree longitude when the sun passed over the 33-degree longitude. That's why they say Jesus died at 33, right? It's dealing with longitude and latitude on the planet. And we're gonna end up. We don't got the Christmas tape dropped yet, but we're gonna end up dropping that tape. Also deal with the chakra. Hey, that's a good. Hey Zay, you might have to drop a little bit more on that detail, man. That's a good. I'm about to look into that. The chakra connection with the Christmas. That sounds like an interesting thing. You said they were eating children. The widow eat the children. It says, "Is there egg visible?" Yeah, you can see your auric egg if you got a certain frequency, tuned to a certain frequency. It's visible. It's visible. You can see people glowing. You'll see a glow around them, and you can see it radiating off their skin. Now, it depends on what they eat. Most people in America now, more people starting to go vegan and get more healthier. And you could probably you can see those people when they walk up. You can see they are like they got a glow on them, and you can see people that's dim. They look dark looking, right? So yeah, the auric egg is visible. They got a certain type of camera that can take pictures of it. A certain type of camera you could get that can take pictures of your auric egg. But like I say, pay attention to what you eat and drink and what you listen to and watch, because all that is a lot of this stuff. The extraterrestrials know what's going on, and so they put out all this stuff to try to lower your auric egg so they could get to you. See, that's your defense. Your first line of defense is your auric egg, and like I say, your chakras uh your chakras radiate that energy to protect you from these different demons, which can be bacteria and virus. Demons can be bacteria. You can put a certain bacteria under a microscope and it look like a creature, an ugly creature. It look like, and if you blow that thing up and say, "Oh, it's a demon from hell," it can be look like a demon from hell. Yeah, so you gotta keep in mind, uh, you wanna what you eat can lower your force field. So you want to keep that force field strong. Drink a lot of water. Water is a man. I'm gonna tell you, water is the most underestimate to me. It's the second most important thing. Water is God. Water is the number two. Water is the number two God. I'm telling you, man. The first God is air. That's the number one God, air. Because you can't go minutes without air. Right. The second God is water. You can't go more than 2-3 days without no water. Some people have been known to go longer, but after after a certain amount of time, you're gonna have to get some water, some form of liquid. So that therefore you need water. And like I say, God is something you need. Whatever you need is God. I'm telling you, because whatever you need, that's in control. Water is in control. I'm telling you. And so drinking a lot of water will will make your frequency of your auric egg, it'll clean it out. And like I say, on that tape we just put out called The Nine Chakras Activate, you need to go watch that tape because it teach you how to clean your auric using your fingers. Clean your auric egg out. Some of y'all probably never cleaned your auric egg in your whole life. Taking taking showers, taking showers help clean the auric egg. Going outside in the sunlight and walking and breathing, taking in deep breaths of air help cleans your auric egg. Because oxygen is a cleanser. Oxygen also is a poisonous gas, right? Yeah, you got to go back to the beginning. Hey, shout out Moon Goddess. You got to go back to the beginning. We was talking about the Q when you're searching for a Q, right? I will root for you. It don't matter what you do. I approve for you. Right? Don't worry, we'll be there. So your all of you have two angelical beings. You have a one on the right side, one on the left. They teach us this in Islam. You have a one on the right, one on the left, and both of them writing down the good and bad deeds, and they teach us in another incident. But what I'm saying is, one of them beings will give you a cue. That cue comes from the higher self. The higher self always, sometimes some people say, oh, a gut feeling, or my first mind, right? My first mind told me don't go in there or don't go over there. Some told me, I used to say, man, some told me don't go over there up into that place, man. As soon as I get over there, now they up in there got some crazy mess going on, right? So that higher being, your higher self will say, don't do this or stop doing this. This is bad. Don't smoke this. Don't drink that. Your higher self is saying it. And it's always a cue. And like I say, too much of anything can be bad. Or too little of anything can be bad. Right? So it's all perspectives. Your intuition, moon goddess. So you gotta have that intuition to know when to get out of a situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether like I say, whether you out in public and you see a crazy fool coming into the grocery store with a mask on and a trench coat and a bag, and it's 200 degrees outside, that's your cue. That, hey man, this don't look right. Somebody to go down, and I ain't finna be sticking around to see what's going down. I'm already gone in the car. Now, once I figured out what was going down on how to spot the cues and search for the cues, I avoided a lot of situations, like situations where the police was gonna be called, and then they said, "Well," I said, "Damn, the police about to be called here. I need to go and get on." I get on. They say, "No, the police call," and then niggas get maced out there. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't sticking around. Everybody got maced. Or with some dudes out there. We was out there chilling, right? Two dudes get into it, and then another dude say, "All right, stay right here. I'll be right back." See, when the nigga say, "Stay right here, I'll be back," man, that's my cue. He told that guy, "Stay right here." Now that guy stay right there. And I done seen some guys stay right there till the guy come back, and the guy come back and kill him and two or three other guys just for standing out there with him. Because them guys didn't get the cue, right? I'm at the house chilling, eating me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They call me back, man. You say no so and so came back up here, man, just like he said, and shot 3-4 guys. He chased so and so 2 blocks around the corner shooting at him. This actually happened, man. Chased the guy 2-3 blocks shooting at him because they didn't get the cue. Well, the guy said, "Stay right here, be back. I'll be back." And the look that he had on his face, the look that he had on his face, man, you should have got your cue right there. So you gotta understand that part, right? When a guy flash a gun, or when guys drinking and they get the organ, go on, get on, move around. Go on, get on. If you're on your job and they start tripping, writing you up for no reason, finding things, looking for stuff to jack around with you, that's your cue. Go on, start looking for you a new job. Right? If you in a relationship and your other partner study lying and disappearing and doing weird stuff that's not on the right timing, not it's the timing is off where he oh yeah, I was missing, or had to go, I was late at work. That's your cue to get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? Don't stick around to get caught up in this joint in this game. Right? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Some people like even in the stock market, for you guys that, because a lot of guys don't give a damn about the stock market but when you see when you make, don't be greedy, man. You can't be greedy in this game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people lose because they get greedy. A guy whipping the boat, he said, "Man, I won $2,000." Well, when he won that $2,000 and he ain't come in there with but $20, that was his cue to get the hell out of there. But what did he do? He stick around and played the money back. Come on, man. What they do that at? He need to be slapped in the back of his head. You go right in, put $10 in the machine, pull it, hit $2,000, and then you sit there. That was your cue to get the hell out of there. But you sat there and played $2,000 back to these folks. Come on, man. You got to be crazy. Get up out of there. That was his cue. Right? So we just want to bring that to you, man. Stay on alert. Now coming up, because these demons, they on their last leg, and they can pull anything out. In this they desperate. They going out, they fading out. The sun phase is coming in. They got to go back underground because it's too hot on the surface. So they all got to go back underground. So they scratching and screaming and kicking as they got to go back underground, and they looking to try to do something, hoping that we do something to ourselves or allow them to do something to us and get caught off guard because we ain't see the cue. Right now, the cue is stay out their way. They stay out their way, man. This don't got nothing to do with us. We already got our land back. So some people asking, when, how we gonna get our land back? We already got the land. Ain't you on it? See, it's a lot of rules and regulations that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't know. They got no. That's Enlil and them. Enlil and them running the because Enlil and them still involved a little bit, right? They acting Enlil acting like he ain't involved, but I'm gonna tell you how he's still involved. He not involved directly. He involved through his children, his hybrid children who running the government, who running the world. These black hand guys, the black hand. So the people that's doing all the chemtrail and all the heart projects and all that, that's Enlil seed. Hey, send that to me, Zay. Let me see what it look like. At cornhill805gmail.com. Yeah, contact me at cornhill@gmail.com. Also, I respond to all the comments on YouTube. We respond to all the comments. So if you got a question, leave it in the comments and I respond to it. If you want to get those 8 books by the Young Elder, we got those 8 books going for $40 donation to the Cash App. If you want to show Hakeem some love on his birthday, right? His birthday was yesterday, but we didn't get a chance to do nothing live. If you want to show him some love on his birthday, so you can get him a gift, that'd be fine too. Or you just want to show us some love, we got the Cash App and the links in the pendant. Says he's still, yeah. Like, so if you go like in the end, right now I'm writing another book, which is taking me longer. I'm writing the Tablets of Tammuz. Right, so and the Tablets of Tammuz is gonna be detailed like it ain't nothing. So I already got like the first couple chapters done, and I'm gonna put it out in tablets. It's gonna be like tablet 1, tablet 2, tablet 3. So probably like next week, sometime or the week after, I'm gonna put out the first tablet of Tammuz, and it's gonna break down that in the end, Enlil and Inky shook hands because Tammuz is one of the key pivot points to bringing the family together because Tammuz is Enlil grandson and he Inky grandson, right? He tied to both families because Tammuz is Inanna's son. Inanna is Nanar Sin's daughter, and Nanar Sin is Enlil's son. I got a picture of Nanar too, a real regenerated picture that looked just like him. Yeah, so Tammuz is Enlil's grandson and Inky's grandson. All right, so Inky had a son named Osiris or Osir or Damuzi. That's one of the names. And then he had a son named Tammuz with Inanna. So they would make Tammuz Inky's grandson. Okay. All right. Then Enlil had a son named Nanar, who had a daughter named Inanna. Inanna, like I say, birthed Tammuz. So that make him Enlil's grandson too. Nimrod really is a combination of 2 stories. It's a combination of Inky's story and Murdoch's story. The building of the tower was Murdoch. Murdoch was the one that was getting the humans to build a tower, but they actually weren't building a tower. They was actually Murdoch had a laboratory in Babylon where he was building different technologies, and one of those technologies was a Stargate, and they were going to use the Stargate to be able to go out of space. That's what they said. They were trying to get up there with God.
They were gonna be using the stargates to travel different places out of space. And so Enlil and then Nertu and them bombed the laboratory to destroy it, to tear it down. And that's why they said God, but Tammuz was the one that went to go see what they was doing. That's why Murdoch really like he was on edge. He was kind of mad at Tammuz because he thought Tammuz was playing both sides. Like he was going back to tell Enlil, but Tammuz didn't go back and tell Enlil about what Murdoch and them was doing. Somebody else told him that. Right? Somebody else told Enlil and them. The guy that told him was Ninurtu. I mean, not Ninurtu. The guy that told him was Nergal. Nergal is the one that told Enlil and them that Murdoch and them was building. Because keep in mind, Nergal is Murdoch's little brother. Well, he like the oldest is Murdoch. Then the second born is Ninurtu. Then the second, no, not Ninurtu, Nergal. It's the second brother. And then the brother after that is Ningazita, who you call Tahuti. Tahuti is the third brother. And then the younger brother, and he had a whole bunch of kids, but like these are the four main brothers. Murdoch becomes Ra, Atum, Amun, Melchizedek, El Kadush, Michael, the angel Michael in your Bible. Like I say, Ra in ancient Kemet. I'm in Ra. And then the other brother is Nergal. He the one that would betray Murdoch. And they were the one, him and his cousin in there too, which is Enlil's son. They were the one that was building the nuclear weapons they were the one that built the first atomic bomb to drop it on Murdoch now. Like I say, what it was is because Enlil was jealous that Murdoch and them was doing stuff that they didn't invite him in on or get his approval. And so he used Ninurtu and them, and they went and dropped a bomb on Murdoch's laboratory and blew it up. It's QUANHILL805 Yeah, so that's what happened with it. And like I say, the other brother is Ningazita. Ningazita and Tahuti, I mean, which is really Tahuti, when they came back for the second pass to fix what they had messed up, they first went to the center of the earth first. They weren't multiplying on the surface first. They was multiplying in the center of the earth. And that's when Murdoch and them set up the halls of Amenti. And it was like a school in the center of the earth to teach the humans. And Tahuti was like one of the main instructors there. And Tahuti pretty much created the arithmetic and most of the books and things are the what you would call the study books were written by Tahuti. And Tahuti created when they came to the surface and set up Atlantis, that's when Tahuti created the printing press. And they started making copies of these books and sending them. And then Tahuti and the Murdoch now started Melchizedek them started traveling around the world setting up temples. They called them schools or temples of learning on the surface to train the humans. Some of the Anunnakis didn't like this. Some of the bad ones. They didn't like that they were teaching humans because some of them when they came here, they had some of y'all got some niggas out here, a lot of niggas out here. They got the God complex. Well, I ain't finna teach and Hala had this same type of attitude where he said he wasn't gonna bow to mortals, right? I'm not bowing to him. He's below me. I was created before he was. I'm created from pure amber light. I'm a brilliant being, and I'm not bowing before these mortals, right? You got niggas out here that don't want to bow before the mortals, but these gods, right? But to some of the gods like Satuk, he didn't like that they were teaching the humans because once they got here, they saw that, oh yeah, I can take advantage of these humans. It's a lot of gods out here taking advantage of humans, and they said I can take advantage of these humans, and they didn't want Murdoch and Osiris and Tahuti them teaching the humans. But Tahuti them went around setting up the schools, like I said, the city of the gods down in Central America and South America. They had set up schools. These pyramids were schools, and Tahuti would have all these books he would print copies of them and take them to each school. So each school had the same textbooks on how to design crafts and all that. Yeah. So it was like that, dealing with back then. That's how they got around. Yeah, the Moors lived. A group of them lived on Nubaru. The Moors were, some of them were part of the 300 Gigis, and they can't. These beings, these Moors, the Centaurians, they came from the Centaurian star system. And go watch my tape I got in the Anunnaki playlist called the 300 Gigis. If you watch that cartoon called Marvin the Martian, you see how they got Marvin the Martian with this helmet on, with the it's like the Spartan helmet. And they got them black because these Moors, they were black like my watch band right here, black. They were dark black. These Etruscans. And so yeah, they came from Centaurian star system, and they ended up, when they came here, they weren't called Moors at the time. They were called Centaurians. Or even that's not the real name. Their name is really in Sanskrit, because they one of the languages that they brought was Sanskrit. These Moors, right? Now, how they got the name Moor is when during Murdoch's wedding. Murdoch had a wedding in Aura, a Chaldea, and so he was getting married to one of the captains' daughter of these 200 Gigis, or 300. It was 300 originally, but 200 came to the wedding. The 200 came and landed in Aura, a Chaldea, and then when they landed in Aura, they would start traveling around. That's how they became known as the travelers, or the Arabs. The Moors are the real Arabs, which means to roam, right? Or roam about, like Arabia, which means car, right? Arabia, which means car, right? So it means to roam. And so these beings, they would roam, and these beings that spoke a certain language, which had one of the prefixes in their language is mu, as in one who's of. That's what it means. If you look it up in the holy tablets in the glossary, it means mu, one who's of. So they would say Muslim, which means one of peace. And then when these beings came from Aura, they would say Mu'ora, one of Aura. So it became Mu'ora. And then they took it and put, because the vowels are interchangeable, they put O there to throw you off. But it's really M-U-U-R, which is why the Empress Virachi, Empress Patrice of the Washita Nation, said the Washita Nation of Moors. Just like Doc came along and said the Nuwapian Nation of Moors. So they don't really like you attaching that Moor onto it, right? But it's really M-U-U-R because of the 200 fallen that came to Murdoch's wedding, and the people that when they came and traveled around Africa, the people said Muor and started calling them Moors. Then it became unknowns. Oh, these guys are travelers, are navigators. Boom. And then these guys, these 300 Gigis, knew the science of the stars. When they came from Mars, they knew about the stars. So when they got here, they knew how to travel on the earth watching the stars. These Gigis, they knew how to travel on watching the stars. So that's how they became known as star watchers and travelers. And that's really that Fez really is dealing with the builders. It was two groups. One wrote a Fez, right? And another ones was wind talkers, the spiritual talkers, and they put feathers, like they used to put a band with a feather on it, feathers, right? And they were the wind talkers. Another group of the Gigis. It was two groups of the Gigis. And so the ones with the Fez, they were the ones that came down and showed the humans how to make stone, how to cut stone, how to make swords and shields. They talk about this in the book of Enoch, where he said these 200 fallen came down and taught the humans all these bad things. Now they were considered bad to the Anunnakis, to certain groups of the Anunnakis. Why? Because they didn't want the humans to do nothing but be slaves and till the ground and dig gold. They didn't want them to be able to say no, and you can't do this. I'm not doing this. And if you don't like it, we can fight. Today, humans didn't really know how to fight against the gods at first. These 200 fallen came and taught them how to fight against the gods. and they taught them how to carve stone into a perfect cut ashlar, which they talk about in the Masonic order, right? And then they told them how to stack these bricks, and this became known as bricklaying of masonry. The Moors, these 300 Agigis, built the pyramids on Mars. It's pyramids on Mars. The 300 Agigis were stationed on Mars at first. They put the stone work on Mars at first, and then they came to Earth. Like, they weren't building pyramids until these 200 Agigis came. They were the ones that were building the pyramids. These people who had the Naga, who were descendants of the Nagas. These Moors were descendants of the Nagas beings, and they came in and mixed in with the humans that were here. Oh yeah, yeah. I see. I hear you, Moon Goddess. Yeah, we catch everything. I hear you. Yeah, it's pyramids on Mars, and those beings that built those pyramids were the 200 Gigis. It was 300 really, and the lead guy that was instructing them was a dude named Anzu, who really Murdoch's uncle, Dan Keenan's brother, Alelu's son. And when they came here, they taught the humans how to start doing these bricks and building these stone structures. These Moors. So the ones who were the feds, they the builders. And they, like I said, they knew the stars. So what they would do is they would line. Some of them came down from Orion. Some of these Moors came from Orion, the Watusis, like the Watusis, the tall beings. They were mixed with the. They were Moors too. They were Hindus mixed with Anunnakis, right? These Watusis who came down from Orion off of Nubaru, right? They would teach these beings on how to cut this stone and brick, and show them how to lay it. And like I say, it's a lot of more detail to that on the connection between why they started laying that brick. These Moors also, like I say, with how they was building the bricks and laying them out, they would line them up with the stars, right? So the ones that had the feds on, they knew how to build, and they would build based off of astrological events and things, right? Like so a lot of the pyramids line up with different star systems. That's an actual fact. Yeah, most of y'all probably that's on here listening is Inky. Some of y'all are Inky and Live. Yeah, right. The Washington Moors, right? Talk about the Gigis, if I'm saying it right. Yeah, the Gigis. Yeah, we just talked about the Gigis. The 300 Gigis were beings who dwelled on Nubaru, who manned the mothership. But on one incident, on one shore, Alelu and Anu got into it, and Alelu got defeated, and he got sentenced to Mars. Well, his son chose to leave, stay on Mars with him. And when his son chose to stay on Mars with him, which is a new nephew, Anzu is a new nephew. And Anu told his nephew Anzu that since you're gonna stay here with your dad, if you stay here, if you still here when I come back on the next shore, I'm gonna give you a detail. And so Anzu was there on the next shore, so he gave him a detail. But Anu being slick, cause I know what he did. Those 300 Gigis really were freaks. That some of them had 4 arms, six fingers, 1 eye, 6 eyes, 2 faces, like a face in the front, a face in the back. Some of them had 4 arms because they had mixed with the insect beings, the spider beings. Because some insects got more than 1 arm, right? So, and they show you these beings in Mortal Kombat. And that one of the Igigis is the dude named Goru that they put in Mortal Kombat. He was one of the Igigis. He came here. He's a prince. Goru is a prince from the Centaurian star system. His mother was a princess of or the queen of their planet, and he really volunteered to come help the Anunnakis. And so when they got here, after a while on Mars, They were building these pyramids. Like I say in the New Testament, I'm gonna give you a detail. He did give them a detail. So what he did is to flush the freaks off onto Mars, just like Fidel Castro flushed all the criminals of Cuba onto Florida, or just like King George the First flushed all the criminals of England onto America. Right? The founding fathers were criminals from England. I'm telling you, man. The ones they got on Mount Rush, Moor. You ain't put it together yet. Mount Rush to Moors, right? So that's neither here nor there. But you know what I'm saying. But what happens is once all them freaks, these Hindus, you know, and all the Hindu gods. Go look up the Hindu gods. Some of them got 4 faces, 4 arms. This was all these igigis, and most of them were dark skinned and like black, like my wristband. Uh, Eventually, to make a long story short, the wall was really fall over coochie. People don't want me to tell you the truth. They were getting restless up there for about 2 or 3 shores. You talking about 10,000 years. A lot of you brothers out here going 2 or 3 weeks with no coochie. You think you doing bad? Go 10,000 years with no coochie. See how long you last. These guys are going along. They kept on making a long story short. They were complaining to Murdoch about it. Murdoch said he's gonna get them hooked up. Eventually, that went on for a while until they said, "Man, Murdoch." They started to get restless. So Murdoch said, to calm them down and to make a treaty with him, because Murdoch really didn't want to be over these guys. He got put over these guys because his uncle got caught stealing the tablets of destiny from Enlil. So they sentenced him to the underworld. So Enlil didn't like Murdoch, so he put Murdoch over the 200 niggas on Mars. To make a long story short, Murdoch ended up marrying the leader Shemgazu's daughter, and he invited 200 of them to his wedding. And he told them, he said, "Man, when y'all come to this wedding, there's gonna be a whole bunch of girls there, and get in where you fit in." And like I told you, you got those guys. Some of y'all might be the guys that get all the girls in your crew. And you got that one guy that don't got no game. He can't get no girls, so you gotta like entice a girl to talk to him. So these 200 gigis were ugly freak niggas, and Murdoch had to talk girls into talking to him. And so he said, "Look, man, y'all come to this wedding, and there's gonna be some girls there. You can hang out, have a couple of drinks, and then get you some girls." Yeah, they was having drinks. The God of your Bible, Murdoch, Inky them, Enlil them, they were drinking beer and wine. God drank wine. Jesus drunk wine. I mean, people say, "Oh, he talking about wine," So they smoke joints too, by the way. But y'all niggas get scared. Some niggas go unsubscribe after that. Oh yeah, he said that God smoke joints. Yeah, nigga, God smoke joints. You ain't did nothing God ain't did already. Trust and believe. That's a fact. The Anunnakis were doing all that shit. The Elohim, for you niggas that can't catch up. All it. Yeah, that's right, Red. All it. All it. They the one started it. Look, Enlil's son, his name is Ninurtu. Ninurtu was the plug, the Peru club plug. He was the first one going to Peru, getting that shit and taking it to the miners. They was using it to keep the miners high, so they wouldn't keep complaining. But eventually they got immune to the shit, and they eventually came to Enlil and complained. So what's Enlil's solution? Well, really, it was Inky. Inky said, "All right, we can fix it. They don't got to work no more. We'll create a slave. We'll create a worker being, a primitive worker, a Lulu Amalu. And we'll get them to tilt the ground. We'll get them to dig all it. Zay, all it. Beer, everything you think you doing, and you say, oh, yeah, it's bad. God was doing it. The God of your Bible, the God that gave you your 10 commandments, all it. Yeah, pass. They the one that brought it here from Cyrus. Why did they call it cannabis? Cannabis is a star system. The dog star. Y'all ain't put it together yet. They got some shit. I remember that dude, what his name is. Riley Martin. That's just his name, Riley Martin. He said that man, the Grays abducted him and they took him to Zados with him. Right? These the Boavians. Not the Blue Avians, the Boavians. They call it the Boavians. and they're a group of Greys that live in Zados. He said, man, they picked him up and they took him. You know, he said he smoked joints every day. And he said he been gone with him for a while. He said, man, I need my medicine. They said, what kind of medicine you smoke, friend Raleigh? That's what the Grey called him, friend Raleigh. He said, man, I smoked such and such, right? Oh, they said, yeah, oh yeah, we got some of that, right? He said they got him some shit. They gave him some shit. They twisted it up for him. He said he hit that shit one time, man. And he said that he was high for 2-3 weeks. And then he said he didn't even smoke. He was high for so long when he came back that he didn't even want to smoke the shit they had here no more. He said that shit was gas. Raleigh, go look up a dude named Raleigh. He got a whole book out. I'm telling you, he got a whole book out, man. I'm telling you. Said that they had some shit that made him go to a whole nother round. That's crazy, right? Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, but right now, man, it's dangerous because it's not like it was originally. It's not the original strands, and even the strand you're doing now is was created by the Anunnakis because they mix opium with it. But like I say, it's really recreational now. It's not used as we did as Native Americans to make peace, the peace grass, right? So now niggas just doing it just for recreation, right? What's that creation? To be fruitful and multiply, because it lowers your sperm count. Yeah, so red, different wine, you know what I'm saying? They used to drink wine, all that, man. They did all that. Like God did everything you think you could do. God that did it 10 times over. The person you calling God, they technically not God because they still need air to breathe on Nubaru. Inky and them gotta walk in the cooler day because it'd be hot outside. God is air. God is non-ether gas. The Anunnakis need God. If you cut the Anunnakis air off, that's it. So how they God? If they have air, they wouldn't survive. Think about that now. When you think about who God is whoever you need. I'm telling you. God is whoever's in control. Now, air and water is in control. I'm telling you, on this planet. Yeah, coming forward by 10, where he talk about how he hit that shit, right? Say he hit some shit they had, man. He said, man, that was that one puff off that shit. He said he was high for 2-3 weeks. Yeah, man. You better go back and check this out. We already an hour and 40 minutes in. But buddy, you ready to get off? We might come back again tonight if we don't we might come back again tonight and hit you again with that with that Kimora Harris. We'll talk about that tape, that chick. And what they got going on, how they promoting this chick in the media so much now. And she with Joe Biden. Come on, man. You vote for Kimora, you vote for Joe Biden. Yes. Air is a part of every simulation in the galaxy. Non-ether gas is the galaxy. Air is gas. Gas is the galaxy. Look, 90% of the universe is made from hydrogen as a basis. Most of all the elements is hydrogen sped up or slowed down. Really, the zero, it's really neutronium, which is zero. Neutronium is an element. Hydrogen really is neutronium slowed down. Then so on and so on. Then you get to lithium is really hydrogen slowed down. And we'll be back. Don't worry, we hitting you every day. We got something coming out every day. We non-stop action, trying to take care of them babies. This is Yeah, elements. Elements. You see, you right on point. See, hey, I see you a high power alchemist. 777. You a high power alchemist. You know how to flip them words. We had that school a long time ago on seeing the letters. But we love you all. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to show us some love on the Cash App. It's at The Young Elder, right? Like I said, we got the 8 books still for $40 for you newcomers that ain't got the 8 books. You want to go and get those right now for $40 donation to the Cash App. We'll leave your emails in the links, and I'll send your books right over as soon as I get off in PDF form. So we out, man. We love you all. Voodoo.